Hi, on the Woodpecker today, I'm cutting some apple tree planks. I bet you remember that last summer, Philip helped me build this nice outdoor shower at my cottage. It's held in place with iron angles inside a concrete slab. When I got those iron angles, I also brought a bunch of apple tree logs. Since that day, all those logs have been lying beside my shop. It's time to do something about them. I tried to cut them with my bandsaw, with no success. So I'll take the bull by the horns and use my chainsaw to do the job. The first thing I have to do is to modify the blade. So I remove it from the saw and try to drill 2 holes in it. But that's when I realize that a chainsaw blade is made out of hardened steel. So I'm unable to completely drill the holes. I try to file the holes, but with no success. I go back to the drill press and try to drill them again. But the only thing I can do is burn the bit. I also manage to burn a step bit also. Then I use a masonry bit. And with its carbide tip, I'm able to finish both holes. Finally it's done, and I can pass a threaded rod inside the holes. Now I just need to cut 2 smaller lengths of rod. Then on one end, I put 1 washer and a lock nut. Pass the threaded rod inside the blade's holes and tighten it to the blade. Then I can use the rods to mark the guide's hole placement and drill them. One thing for sure, drilling wood is easier than drilling hardened steel. Then I can cut some wood blocks to make the board spacers. Now I have to drill those spacers, but I have to keep in mind the washer and the nut. So I begin by drilling a shallow hole for the washer. Then 1 for the nut, and finally 1 for the threaded rod itself. This is what the blade will look like with the 2x10 acting as a guide. Here you can see more clearly what will be the thickness of the finished boards. Now I have to put the blade back on the saw. With the blade in place, I can mark the notch I have to do on the block and cut it. It's not the only place I have to cut notches. The blocks touch the chain in a couple of locations. Now everything is perfect. I can assemble the final guide. The guide is held in place with wing nuts, because I'll have to add and remove spacers while cutting the boards. It's now time to go outside and bring the first log to cut. On the log itself, I screw a 2x8, which will act as the first cut guide. Finally, I can start the chainsaw and start cutting. I don't know if it's because I'm a weird guy, but my chainsaw is one of my favorite tools. Before cutting right through, I put wedges at the start of the cut so the slab won't pitch the blade at the end of the cut. The first board is done. I can remove the 2x8's guide. I won't need it for the rest of the cut for this log. This is what the first cut looks like. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now I need to remove the 2x8 guide spacer and reassemble the guide again before I can start to cut the first board. You'll notice that from this moment on, I will be wearing a dust mask. This makes a lot of dust. And I'm not talking about having the saw exhaust right in my face. And here it is, my first real board. I'm not done yet. I can cut 2 more from that log. Another one. And the last one from the first log. But I'm still not done yet. I have more logs to cut. The second log is bigger than the first one, so I have to cut another side from it before doing anything else. After I cut 2 sides, I can cut boards just like I did for the first one. The sunset is fairly early, so I'll stop for the day. But the next morning, I continue. My first board looks bowed. When I check it with a straight edge, I can confirm it. Before doing anything else, I bring the lug inside and straighten it. Then I'm able to continue cutting boards. At the end of the second day, I have a nice pile of sawdust in the backyard. I need to get rid of that. That's way better like this. The only thing reminding me that I cut wood here is the half-full sawdust garbage bag. But looking at the bark I've cut, I think I can get more wood out of them. So I cut one side straight. Then I make sure it's really straight before ripping the other side. When I'm done, I have a small pile of wood, which I'm not really sure will be useful, because it's not that big to begin with. But it still has bark on it. So, with the draw knife Peter gave me, I removed the bark. Here they are. All the pieces that I'm not sure if I'll do something useful with. But I know that all the boards that are still outside will be useful. I just need to remove their bark also. Here they are. All my boards without any bark. But all this bark made a big mess. Oh well, I'm going to fill up the garbage bag. I don't want the end grain to dry too quickly, so I paint all the end grain. When I'm done, I leave that to dry overnight. The next morning, René helped to haul all those boards onto the mezzanine. Each row is separated by stickers, so air can circulate between the rows. This took a while. I had several nice boards to bring up. Now I just have to leave this pile alone for several years before deciding what to do with this nice wood. Thank you, and I hope that I gave you good ideas on what to do with your own apple tree in your backyard. See you soon for another episode of the Woodpecker.